All right, we're live. Welcome to my little channel here. I'm here to talk about the death of actor Robert Carradine. I hate doing these live streams with so many deaths to talk about, but I do think that this is a good example of something that we can learn from. We can learn from people's deaths, something positive, hopefully. And I think that's what his family wanted. They didn't say, "Hey, don't talk about this." They were very open. um, for those who don't know, actor Robert Carradine, he was famous for Revenge of the Nerds and the Lizzie McGuire Show and a bunch of other things that we'll get into. But he died of suicide, and the family wanted, there to be some awareness, some mental health. So I want to talk about all that stuff. Let's see if I can get the article here from TMZ. Then that way I don't screw it up, and I'm just reporting exactly what they said. I'll make myself little. There we go. That's good. Okay. So yeah, let's just read this article, and they kind of summed it up nicely here. So there's a nice picture of him. Love these stupid ads that come in with TMZ. So Robert Carradine, the actor best known for his roles in Lizzie McGuire, Revenge of the Nerds, and The Long Riders, has died, taking his own life after a nearly 2-decade battle with bipolar disorder. In a statement to Deadline, Carradine's family called him a beacon of light in a world that can feel dark, and described his struggle with mental illness as valiant. They said they hope his journey helps shine a light on the stigma surrounding bipolar disorder and ask for privacy as they grieve. It's a nice picture of him. Robert's older brother, Keith Carradine, said that family wanted people to understand there is no shame in the illness that ultimately got the best of him. He remembered Robert as profoundly gifted, funny, wise, and accepting, adding they will celebrate both his life and his strength in fighting the disorder for so many years. Robert was the youngest son of legendary actor John Carradine and the brother of actors David and Keith Carradine, as well as the Disney Imagineer Christopher Carradine. He made his big screen debut in 1972 along John Wayne in The Cowboys. Carradine went on to appear in Hal Ashby's Oscar-winning Coming Home with Jane Fonda and Jon Voight and Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets. His biggest pop culture impact came in 1984, starring as head nerd Louis Skolnick in Revenge of the Nerds, a role that defined a generation. Years later, he found new fans playing Lizzie McGuire's dad on Lizzie McGuire. Carradine is survived by his children, grandchildren, brothers, and extended family. Robert was 71. Rest in peace. Okay, so there's that, and then there's more. Let's see if I can get this. There's more articles on TMZ that were worth sharing here. Let me see if I can get his daughters. I wanted to get his daughters. Here it is, daughters thing. This is really sad. I just want to read the whole thing. Okay, so daughter posts emotional tribute to sweet, funny dad. So that's his daughter is an actress as well, Ever Carradine. Let's see. Ever shared her thoughts on social media Monday night after her family announced Robert took his own life following a decades-long battle with bipolar disorder. Okay, so here, I'm going to read this whole thing. I don't want to just skim through. I want to read the whole thing. Okay. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold here. I'm fighting, itching and sniffling here, so I apologize. Okay, my dad died today. My sweet, funny dad, who's only 20 years older than I am, who never missed an opportunity to drive me to the airport or tell me how much he loved my homemade salad dressing, is gone. If you knew my dad, you knew he's the guy that's always there. Invite him to dinner, he's in. Kids' Little League game in Simi Valley, just tell him what time. Red-eye flight and need a ride home from the airport, just text him your column number after you get your bags. Growing up in the 70s and 80s with a single dad in Laurel Canyon is not exactly the recipe for a grounded childhood, but somehow mine was. Whenever anyone asks me how I turned out so normal, I always tell them it's because of my dad. I knew my dad loved me. I knew it deep in my bones, and I always knew he had my back. I think it's partly because we basically grew up together. 20 years age difference really isn't that much. And while I never thought of him as a sibling, I did always think of him as my partner. We were in it together. I never wanted to let him down, and I wanted him to trust that I had his back the same way he had mine. I learned a lot from my dad. I never put a horse away wet. Or what? What is this? I just don't understand this. Okay, I learned a lot from my dad. Never put a horse away wet. Don't let hose water dry on your car. Change your own wiper blades and never wave a forced call. I also learned something that was more foundational than I ever really understood. And that was what a waste of time it is to hold a grudge. My dad was a lover, not a fighter. He was all heart. And in a world so full of conflict and division, I think we can all take a page out of his book today, open our hearts and feel and share the love. I have thousand stories and I'm being flooded with memories. So if you see me, please ask me about my dad, Bobby Carradine, who made me who I am. Rest easy, Dad. I love you the most. So I thought that was really cool. I wanted to share that whole thing. There's a picture of him with Hillary Duff. And let's see if I can get the Hillary Duff. Her tribute is a little shorter. Um, see if I can get this one going here. Let's see. Share screen, Hillary Duff. All right, let's read this one too. So Hillary Duff pays tribute to Lizzie McGuire dad, Robert Carradine. Okay. And they did a lot of, I never watched the show, but I think there was like 60 some episodes together and then like a reboot and a movie and all this stuff. So she had a nice little tribute. Wait, wait, who's this? Sir Jake. I think that's somebody else. I don't know who that is. Okay. Here's her thing. This one hurts. It's really hard to face this reality about an old friend. There was so much warmth in the McGuire family, and I always felt so cared for by my on-screen parents. I'll be forever grateful for that. I'm deeply sad to learn Bobby was suffering. My heart aches for him, his family, and everyone who loved him. I don't know who this Sir Jake Thomas is. Is that like a director or something? Oh, he played Matt McGuire, the son. Okay, well, let's read this one too. My heart hurts today. I was fortunate to know Bobby for most of my life, and he was one of the coolest guys you could ever meet. Funny, pragmatic, sometimes cranky, always a little eccentric. He was a talented actor, musician, and director, but more than anything, he was family. I have many fond memories being with him and his family throughout my life. Good moments, challenging moments, and lots of laughs between. I looked up to him growing up, and later in life, I came to realize he thought I was pretty neat too. So I guess I was doing something right in his eyes. My heart is with Marika and Ian. Rest easy, Bobby. Love you, Jaker. Okay, so that was his TV set. So there was a bunch of, I think Jamie Lee Curtis even came out and said something because she dated him for a while. So it seemed like it was mostly positive things that I was hearing about him. And this is a guy that I mean, obviously I watched him in Revenge of the Nerds. I think every 80s kid watched those movies. Come on, like, let's be honest. And then I kind of just lost touch with his career. I didn't obviously watch him on Lizzie McGuire because I don't have kids, and that'd be weird for a grown man to watch a kid show. So I didn't watch that one, but I didn't realize too that he actually made a cameo in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. He was one of the trackers, I think. Yeah, I'd have to, and it's weird. I was just trying to rewatch that, and I didn't remember his role in that. But I mean, the guy had a look at his IMDb, look at all his credits. Like he did a lot of cool movies and worked with a lot of cool. I mean, the list go. I mean, we just touched on a few of them here in this tribute from TMZ or whatever the article. But you go in there and look. I mean, he worked with almost every big star, like tons of big stars and tons of big movies. And guy had an amazing career. So I don't think there was any shame in that. I think he should have been very proud. If he wanted to do something more, like if he wanted some sort of comeback or like if he wanted to win that award, I think he could have done it. I mean, it sounds like he was very, very talented. They said early on that they think because of his role in that Coming Home movie with Jane Fonda and John Voight in 1978, they said he might be the strongest actor in the Carradine family. So pretty amazing stuff. I thought this was interesting too. I was reading on his Wikipedia. So again, I don't know. Got to be careful with Wikipedia. Sometimes it's total BS. But they said for his role in Revenge of the Nerds, to prepare for the role, he spent time at the University of Arizona during Rush Week, and no fraternity selected him, which reinforced his sense that he was right for the part. And then obviously reprised the role in 3 sequels, and even served as executive producer on the latter 2. So wow, that's kind of cool. But so yeah, I mean, so besides the acting, like I don't know if I think TMZ said that too, that or somebody had mentioned he was a musician, but yeah, he played guitar with his brothers, formed a band called the Waybacks, I think it was called. And he also loved race car driving. And obviously he was a devoted father, a grandfather, and raised his daughter as a single dad, and then had 2 children, 2 more children later. I read that Martha Plimpton, actress Martha Plimpton, who you might remember from Goonies, was his niece. Like I said, I think he dated Jamie Lee Curtis, and but he fought this bipolar thing for 2 decades. So I was reading up again, and I don't know if this is excuse me, sorry, I just got this cold, and I was just blow my nose or something. Whew. Sorry, Robert, I didn't mean to disrespect your tribute by sniffling and having a cold. Sucks, but um, anyways, back to his story. His parents divorced when he was 2, according to Wikipedia. So I don't know how true this is, but it would make sense. A bitter custody dispute ended with his father gaining custody of him and his brothers, Christopher and Keith. During the proceedings, the children spent 3 months in a home for abused children as wards of the court. His brother Keith later recalled the experience. It was like being in jail. There were bars on the windows, and we were only allowed to see our parents through glass doors. It was very sad. We would stand there on either side of the glass door crying. He was raised primarily by his stepmother, his father's third wife, and believed she was his mother until he met Sonia Sorrell at a Christmas party when he was 14. While still in high school, he lived with his half brother David. Under David's care, he pursued 2 of his major interests, race car driving and music. He and David performed together in the musical quartet that played small clubs in Los Angeles, San Francisco. Okay. And then he later acted. I think the brother encouraged him to act too. So, as someone who's worked with kids and worked in mental health, I do feel like I have a commentary here just because I've worked with so many kids as a counselor in schools, and I just feel like a lot of kids that struggle the most, they have some sort of crazy background like this. Doesn't necessarily mean that every kid that was raised by a single parent, because obviously his daughter was raised by a single parent and she raved about how normal she is and how great of a dad he was and all that. So, but I do think that, you know, having a family situation where he's kind of bounced around, like the parents divorced and he's living with dad, he's living with the state, and then he's raised by stepmom, then living with the brother. I mean, it's just, it doesn't sound like it. He had the normal quote unquote, upbringing, and I don't know if that contributed to his bipolar or not. I mean, a lot of people think the bipolar is completely genetic thing. So let's talk about the bipolar too, because like bipolar, I remember, if you're old enough to remember, it used to be called like manic depressive. That's what they used to call it. And it's characterized by intense mood shifts, extreme highs like the mania or hypomania, and lows, which is like the depression. And I've seen this true bipolar. People throw that term around. Oh, I'm bipolar. Oh, she's bipolar because she's moody or whatever. No, you don't understand what true bipolar is. Like I worked in as part of my internship when I was getting my master's in counseling, I worked in a mental hospital, and you don't know what bipolar is until you've seen someone who's truly bipolar and manic. You think they're on drugs or something. You think they're like high. They're like, they can't like, they're like going like a million miles a minute. Like, oh my God, la, 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 la. They're just talking. And you're just like, whoa, like what is wrong with you? Like, you're like on drugs or something. It's like, no, this is just a manic episode. They are just think, they are just so excited and they feel like they're like Superman and they can do anything. And they're just talking a million miles a minute. I mean, it really is. It's like they're on drugs. Like if you saw it, if you truly saw a manic episode in real life, you would think this person is on drugs. It very much mimics a drug episode. But yeah, so they're saying, according to the interwebs, because this stuff changes all the time too, and I remember learning about it, but I don't know, the statistics change, all this stuff changed. The name changed. It used to be manic depressive, now it's bipolar. It says it's likely caused by a combination of genetics, brain chemistry imbalances, and environmental factors like trauma. So again, I do think his childhood trauma, probably played a role in how those wires are. When you're a child, your brain is still developing, and I mean, this all, now I got to get that. Where's that? I want to show that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny, where he is crazy. This is what I'm gonna sound like. I'm gonna show you like this meme. I'm doing a meme right here. This meme. If I can, let me get this on the screen. You'll love this. You guys will love this. If I can get it to go. No, not this. Remove this. Add to stage. No, remove this. Share screen. Uh, Slides. No, that's not it. Gotta love the. Oh, here we go. Is this it? Hopefully that's the right thing. Okay, yeah, this. This is going to be me right now. Okay, so we're talking about childhood trauma and bipolar disorder, and this connects to everything, dude. I'm telling you, like everything is connected in this world. This is what my channel is all about. It's about mental health and life and happiness and physical health and your diet. All this stuff is connected, but it reminds me of the most the thing that everyone's talking. No one's really talking about Robert Carradine right now. Like I don't know if it's because maybe people just forgot about those Revenge of the Nerds movies, or they don't weren't didn't care that much about Lizzie McGuire, or there's just so many other crazy things happening right now. But this all comes back to the monkey. I'm telling you, like this monkey, Punch the Monkey, that went viral. Everyone is talking about that. And you see that when the reason that resonates with so many people, and you can watch my video about that. It's only like 5 minutes, but I go into that, like why people are so enamored with this monkey. It's because we relate to the monkey that's walking around and just feeling lonely and feeling like an outcast and feeling abandoned by his mother. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I think Robert probably could relate to that too. He probably felt that way. He probably felt, abandoned at the time. It's at some point in his life, maybe he still had those feelings. I don't know. But I don't wish bipolar on anyone. Like I said, I've seen it. I've seen the highs and lows of it. And it's not pretty. Even when they're manic, doesn't seem pleasant to have that mania. It seems like it's like stressful for some people. But maybe some people, I don't know. There was that movie, Mr. Jones, with Richard Gere. I don't know if anyone ever saw that movie, but he like got addicted to his like highs. Like he would get these highs and he loved the highs so much. And then of course he hated the lows, but that's why a lot of times people go off their medicine because they miss the highs, or they think they're doing better. They don't need it anymore. And I'm not, if you know my channel, if you know me, I'm not one to advocate for pharmaceuticals, but I do know that if someone is truly bipolar, there is a medicine called lithium that does seem to work very well for people with bipolar disorder. It's like a natural salt, I think, or a mineral or something. And I think it's a salt, I believe, if I remember correctly from my psych classes back in the day. But for some reason, it works very well to regulate bipolar disorder. And it seems somewhat natural. And I don't know if there's other things I'm sure there's a million things that you can do naturally to help someone with bipolar, but I think for some people that have extreme case, like it's not the worst thing to have to take, you know, this salt or whatever that seems to work. So it's not the worst thing, especially if it's to the point where you're going to be suicidal. Like I don't want anyone to take their own life, and that's why this is all connected. I feel like um, there's just a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Right? Am I right? I mean, if you're in America, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of politics. There's a lot of turmoil, homelessness, drugs, stress, whatever. I'm sure that's not just our country, though. I'm sure it's like a lot of countries people are struggling. I mean, there's a lot of people who are doing great. And hey, that's awesome. Like, I like to look at those people and study that and figure out, how did this guy do it? Like, I'm always interested in that. That's why if you look at my channel, I've interviewed over 500 people. Most of them were doing very well. They were living the dream, and I'm always fascinated by that because I'd like to know how to get there. I'd like to learn how to live the dream. But for the people that aren't, for the people that are struggling, and for bipolar disorder, it says, according to the internet, it's affecting approximately 40 to 45 million people globally, with estimates indicating that 37 million people living in the condition as of 2021, about 3.8 million adolescents. In the United States, it affects roughly 5.7 to 8 million adults. That's insane. That's 2.6 to 4.4% of the population. So like basically like 3 or 4 out of every 100 people. So you probably know somebody that has it, that whether it's a family member or coworker. So very sad. And then, I mean, if you think about just mental health in general, it's nearly 1 in 5 US adults, over 59 million people experience a mental health condition annually, with roughly 46% meeting criteria at some point in their lifetime. Young adults 18 to 25 have the highest prevalence of at 36%, while 23% of all adults have had a mental illness in 2024, including 14.6 million with serious conditions. So, yeah, what do we do? Well, first of all, subscribe to my channel because I am trying to tackle these issues and talk about it and help people figure out what we can do to help other people and also help ourselves. I think the number one thing that we can do right now is to give other people some grace, right? Like we are so hard on each other. Like we're so hard on other people. If you voted for the wrong guy, if you like the wrong sports team, if you like the wrong band, because I have a lot of people that follow my channel for music stuff, people get into these fights on the internet. They get fights in real life too. And does all that shit really matter though? I mean, that shit is like so super. I mean, people literally like getting fights at a football game because they like different teams. Like, think about how silly and ridiculous that is. Like, so I think a lot of that stems from just maybe they don't have bipolar or mental health, but maybe they're just having a bad day or they're stressed out. I mean, even if you say like, well, they just got too drunk or whatever. Well, why did they get so drunk? Like maybe they were struggling with something, right? So give other people grace. Try to help out and be there for them, especially the people that are cranky and nasty because they are probably struggling the most and you just don't know it. So try to have grace for other people. But also, I think the other thing that people need to do is give yourself grace, right? Because, I mean, you probably are sometimes people are, I know for me, like I'm really hard on myself. Like I'm always like so hard on myself. Like, why didn't you do this right? Why didn't you do that right? It's like, oh, okay. Like I need to like give myself some grace, right? Like cut myself a break a little bit. Like I'm probably doing the best I can. And I think that's everybody is probably doing the best they can given the circumstances they have right now. But I think giving other people grace, give yourself grace, and then if you know, so if someone is struggling, like reach out and see if you can help. And if you're struggling with a mental health, with bipolar, thoughts of suicide, any of that stuff, like please reach out and ask for help from somebody. If you don't know who that is, then ask me, I guess. Right in the comments. Is anyone watching this? Nobody's watching. But I try to respond to my comments as much as I can. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to reach a wider audience about mental health and to get people's attention because I know it's a very tough world with YouTube and Instagram and all. There are a million things scrolling in front of you, and if it's not dramatic and something that grabs you right away, then you're just gonna swipe away. So if you made it this far, I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching, and stick around because I think that the hopefully my channel, that's the whole goal right now, is to try to help people achieve happiness and health and help other people do that. Kind of, we all help each other, right? Kind of like community of sorts. So I don't have a lot of people joining right now, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just feel like this is the path to take. I know that I could get a lot more clicks by doing more gossip and shit like that. Like I don't really have any gossip on Robert Carradine. Like I just wanted to post about the good stuff and remember him and try to highlight mental health because that sounds like that's what the family wanted. I think it's cool that they came out and said what really happened, that he struggled with bipolar and he, committed suicide. They didn't just say like, well, like it's none of your business. Like, no, you should say the truth. The truth shall set you free. I've always tried to say that because this could help somebody else. Like, oh gosh, like you might know somebody with mental health or bipolar, and it's like maybe you didn't take it seriously, and then you realize like, oh shit, like they could commit suicide. Yeah, that's the ultimate price that you pay for that. So, anyways, yeah, I talked way too long on this. I don't know if people are. This is 24 minutes. I'm sorry, but hopefully you learned something from this, or hopefully you gained something from this. I wanted to save comments for the end. It looks like I only have one comment from Bill. Rest in peace. Yes. So if you're catching this on the rerun, uh, feel free to leave your comment. And yeah, rest in peace, Robert. It's just sad to. I didn't know him. I wasn't a diehard fan. I did like some of the work that he did, obviously, and it's just sad to see this. And I always, like I said, I always try to learn from people's deaths and their lives. And it sounded like he had a pretty good life, and it's just sad and upsetting to see it come to an end like this. I feel like there could have been a different route that he could have taken, and I would encourage other people to take a different route if they're struggling with mental health. So, thank you for watching, and try to go out there and do something right for the world. And if you want to see some changes in the world and in yourself, and start making some changes. And make sure you subscribe for more content and more positive things that I hope to bring to you if people are interested in that. And if they're not, then I guess I'll need to find something else to do with my time. Thank you for watching. Have a great night. Goodbye.